Hi guys and welcome to episode 6 and I look back over TTGAMES LEGO video games of the past. If you've not had a chance to watch any of the previous episodes from the series, then episode 1 to 5 are available from our YouTube channel or on lifeinbrick.com. Now, given the content of this video, I highly recommend that you watch episode 4, as this is something of a sequel and there will be quite a few references to what I said in that review. So, after a brief detour to the Caribbean for some sun, sea, sand, pirates and mystical objects, it's now time to return to the Harry Potter franchise. Now, as I mentioned in episode 4's look at years 1 to 4, 2018 is the 20th anniversary of Harry's Wizarding World, and to say it's as huge today as it's always been would be something of an understatement. I mean, there are friggin' theme parks dedicated to this wondrous franchise now. Now, with the first LEGO Harry Potter game setting a new standard much higher than before with TTGAMES LEGOGAMES Adventures, and Pirates just about meeting that, would a Potter sequel bring more of the same, or does years 5 to 7 offer something new? Now this time we're focused on what many consider, and myself included, to be the better half of the franchise, from Order of the Phoenix, still my favourite book and movie, through to Deathly Hallows Part 2. Now, there's some strong, much darker source material to work with, and so setting the tone for TT's traditional family-friendly target audience was definitely going to be slightly more of a challenge than the original game, and yet they pulled it off. True to expectations, the movies are brilliantly recreated here once more, with all 4 of the stories, well 3 if you're a book lover, getting a good chunk of time to tell their own parts of the saga. From the Dementor playground invasion to the Battle of Hogwarts, every important scene gets its time to shine. While there are a couple of important bits seemingly rushed through without a full level to explore, the family-friendly cutscenes do the story justice it deserves, despite taking a few liberties to cut out some of the much more darker drama. The one and only bizarre thing I picked up on during this playthrough was the fact that the Deathly Hallows Part 2 is referred to as Year 8, which not only contradicts the source material but also the name of the game. It's a minor whimper on my part, but one that hardcore fans are likely to pick up on. Now, much like years 1 to 4, the game plays out on and around Hogwarts for the most part, allowing player free roam of the grounds between levels. Each movie is once again split out into 6 levels, all huge environments, with every effort made to throw in as much detail from the films as possible. Now, continuing some of the best parts of the first game, there are once again classes to attend to learn new skills required for the more difficult missions as you progress through the game. These abilities are, however, not a rehash of what you had before, and with Umbridge's arrival in Phoenix used as a catalyst for losing some of those abilities from year 1 to 4, you've actually got a good reason why you're now learning new skills. One of these core new abilities is the water spell. I'm not even going to begin to try and pronounce it. I can just about manage Wingardium Leviosa. But yeah, very useful one. It allows you to kind of grow plants in certain areas, and it's integrated into a lot of the puzzles as you're moving forward. It's not the only one, but it's kind of like definitely the main one I wanted to highlight. The master stroke of improvements here, though, comes with the new Dueling System. Now, it was introduced briefly in the previous game as a kind of dodge, shoot sort of mechanic. Dueling is now a fully fledged part of the action and something integrated more into the stories as we get closer and closer to that final battle at Hogwarts. Now, basically, you're thrust into a circle or in a one-to-one battle. You must choose the correct spell to counter your opponent. Now, their spell is kind of indicated based on the colour of their half of the circle, so it's about matching that. You do, of course, have the freedom to move around within the circle as well, and as an added bonus, if you're struggling a little bit, you can temporarily create a magic shield, so it gives you a chance to actually kind of colour coordinate against them. Complementing the classroom-based skill set, you'll also find a number of character-specific abilities along the way this time round. Now, with the Weasley twins shop now open, the Weasley Wizard Wheezers boxes are scattered around the levels and open world to assist with puzzles, offering explosives, some sucker shoes so you can walk up walls in certain areas, and there's a few more other delights. More Deathly Hallows specific, and Hermione's bag, you know, the one with Time Lord logic, it's bigger on the inside, that also comes into play, and at certain points in the game you'll find places where you can actually open the bag, pull out a different part, different thing depending on what you need for that specific puzzle. Very, very useful. Now, much like the movies the game is based on, there's far more diverse variety of locations to explore as well, and as a result, despite being very similar in gameplay to its predecessor, a good majority of the gameplay feels fresh, especially when you've got a dragon in a basement of a bank vault to play with. This too applies to the open world environments with King's Cross and London streets and a number of other locations open to explore, all thanks to the apparition spell which allows you to teleport between them. Apparition, I don't know whether I pronounced that right, please forgive me. They open up a much wider world to explore, and while it's not entirely seamless exploration, they do feel just as alive as in the previous game and similarly packed to the brim with loads to collect. Speaking of the collectibles, actually, while they are the same in terms of house crests per level to collect and, you know, the student in peril, etc., they have notched up a little bit, so there are now over 200 characters to collect and 200 gold bricks to find. Now this game is going to keep completionists busy for a very, very long time, trust me. Now, as with most LEGO games, it's the co-op function that will win over many of the young gamers, and the split screen action is as fun as ever, with a good portion of the puzzles tailored to kind of easily adapt to the two players. The one and only thing I cannot understand about LEGO games of this period is the lack of online functionality, and sadly yet again there is no online play here. The only thing I can think of is this is kind of LEGO's attempt to kind of maintain that old school multiplayer of the past where people actually met up to play together. Who knows? Overall, this was always going to be a difficult one to review so close to the previous Harry Potter game. It feels more like a second half of the same game rather than a sequel in its own right. That said, this isn't a bad thing. The first game reinvigorated a franchise that was on the verge of tedium, and matching that same standard of quality is far from a bad thing. In both of the LEGO Harry Potter games, a lot of time, effort and love for the franchise has clearly been taken into account. I mean, they've done everything they can to do as much justice for the movies as they can, and they have definitely achieved that goal. Years 5 to 7 is a fantastic game, adding a few new additions in abilities and mechanics, as well as brilliantly recreating cutscenes which perfectly sidestep the darker sides of Potter through humour that hits the mark every time. Now, fans of the first game, they're never going to be disappointed with this game. And as long as you're not going in with mind-blowing expectations in terms of new gaming mechanics and loads to do, you're going to love it. Put the games together and you've got one very awesome but very long LEGO game. You can of course now purchase the games together in HD on the PS4, so well worth a purchase if you are a fan you want to play through these again. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the series so far. Please leave a comment below. Please leave some feedback. Give me a like. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And don't forget, you can get us around the web as well. And we're on Twitter and Facebook. We're also on Instagram at LifeInBrick, where we put daily posts on there. And we've also got lifeinbrick.com if you want to have a look at a full range of all the different things that we actually do. I'll be back very soon with another video. I'm really looking forward to the next couple that are coming in this particular series, because we're slowly moving into the games where they gave the LEGO characters voices. And I really, really am looking forward to playing LEGO Batman 2. Not gonna lie, it's one of my favourites. Anyway, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this, as I've already said, and I'll be back very soon. Bye bye.